Hi guys, Kim here, design team member with Swirlydoos Kit Club. What I've got for you today is step by step on how to put together our February project kit. And in that project kit, we've got the Kaisercraft Heart Shelf. And it's only 2 pieces, very simple to put together. I'm going to put mine together and I'm actually going to decorate it for you. What I did already is I went on ahead and gessoed my shelf, and it's also got some stenciling on there too, and so I'm going to set that aside. But the one thing you want to make sure you do is don't do the piece that's going to go in the slot, because then it won't fit. So if you're going to gesso it or paint it or whatever, don't do that slot. And remember, because this is a shelf, you want to do both sides of it. So that's done and set aside. You can, these are MDF, they're not really thick. You can cover these with paper, you can decoupage them, you can do whatever you want to do with them. What I'm going to do with mine is I am going to make this a multimedia, a mixed media heart shelf. And so what I'm going to do is first I'm going to cover it with some gesso. And I could have pre-done that, but I just wanted you to see the shelf to get an idea of some things that you can do with it. You want to let that dry. Your biggest thing is making sure that you get all your layers to dry. And help that out a little bit. Grab my heat tool. Okay, so now that we're done, I've got a couple of different stencils that I'm going to be using. Maybe using this one and this one. And I'm just going to be using parts of each one. This one I already used on my shelf, where I showed you that in the beginning. There we go. Just because I just didn't want to have a plain white shelf up there. And as I'm going through this, I may end up adding some misting to my shelf as well. But I'm going to start with my script. And I've got some modeling paste. And I'm just going to go randomly in a few spots. I want to do something down here at the bottom, because this is going to be the bottom of the shelf. For the script stencil, we'll heat that a little bit. Okay, next up, I'm going to go back in with my music note stencil. And again, just randomly adding some stenciling. So that's my stenciling. And before I dry, I want to add just a little bit more texture, but not with stencils, so I'm going to use a little bit of texture paste. And I'm just going to brush some on. Not going to use a whole lot, so I'm just going to use a smaller piece. Running out of texture paste. I love using this, so I've only got a little bit left. So that dry, especially the white crackle, because once it crackles and then we go to mist it, we're going to get some of the mist into those crackles. And so that's the one thing that we want to do. We really want to get that dry. Okay, now that we've got it dry here, because once it starts to dry, your crackle paste, once it starts to dry, you can go ahead and hit it with the heat tool and your crackles will show. And it's going to be kind of hard to see here, but we've got some really good crackling going on here and up here. So now it's time to go ahead and mist it. I've got 2 different colors that I'm going to go ahead and use. I've got some gold foil color bloom, and I've got some Caribbean Sunset by Shimmers. I'm using the gold foil because I want to go ahead and give this a vintage look. That's what I'm going for with this. So I'm going to use the gold foil with some water. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a shake, I'm sorry. So we're going to go ahead and shake that up. And what I'm going to do is start on the outside edges. I'm going to start with some water first. And give that a mist. And we're going to work that around some. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the Caribbean Sunset. This is actually one of my favorite colors, and it's a really sheer color. So it's just going to give us a hint of color. What I'm going to do is take some of that, and I want to go over some of the spots where some of the masking is. Let me get my brush cleaned off and get it ready to go. And I've got my water in case it's just a bit too much. But as you can see, it's a really sheer color. And I just want to kind of take it in some spots there. Set that aside for a second and let it finish drying. The other thing I'm going to use is I kind of pulled these two things from my stash. One is this little frame that I've got. It's a little round frame, and I love how vintagey it looks, but it's silver, and we've kind of got like a vintagey gold thing going on. The other thing that I pulled from my stash is I've got some of the new Prima waxes, and I pulled this white gold metallic wax. We're going to use it on the heart once it dries, but I also want to use it on the frame, and so I'm going to take this opportunity to use it, and the color I picked is white gold. And so what I'm going to do is, while we're waiting for the rest of that to dry, is I'm just going to go over this frame some, and we're going to have a two-tone frame on here. We're going to have a white gold and silver frame, and I'm going to show you how to use these waxes. Basically, take a little bit, you can stick it there, but since we've got a large surface to cover, you really don't have to do that. We can just go in a lot more. Now if you can see this now, it's not as silver as it was, and it does blend in with our I don't want to say blend in, but it does coordinate a little bit better with our heart. I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to go back here. Looks like we're still a little wet a little bit, so I'm going to... Okay, we are dry enough to do what I want to do, so I'm going to pull the wax back out. And I'm going to take some, and what I'm going to do is I definitely want to go along the edges of my heart. And I do want to get into some of the spaces where I've got the crackle. But I want to hit the edges. And I want to take care of the edges, because now this contrasted with this is so stark white that I'm going to go in. It's time to add the shelf, and then we're going to do the rest of the embellishing. It's best to add your shelf so you can see where you want to put your embellishments. So I'm going to go ahead and add some glue. And we're going to go ahead and slide this baby in. And see, this is what I mean when I say be careful about your, oh, see? Here we go. So now I've got that problem. I got some, there we go. Now it's going in. I got some gesso in the slot when I was painting. All right. So now I've got my shelf in with a little bit of help. Now it's time to do some embellishing. I've got the Vine by 49 and Market that came in the project kit, and I'm going to add that first, and then I've got some flowers from the main kit that I'm also going to add. I've got a little frame from my stash. At that, my shelf is in there. It just needs to dry. And now my little frame that I had, it's just going to sit on the shelf. Oh, no, wait, we're not done yet. Got a few more things to do. Get a piece of ribbon here to add down on the shelf. Now we've got our little frame to add, and we are done. So that's it. This has been Kim for Swirlydoos Kit Club. Thank you for stopping by. If you've liked what you've seen here, please stop by our forums at www.swirlydoos.com and check out all our tips, tricks, and tutorials that we have there. We also have a YouTube channel that's got tons of tips, tricks, and tutorials and videos. Everything is free. And if you like our kits, please click on the top that says join our club. Our kits tend to sell out fast, so if you like them, then it's best to just join our club so you'll never miss another kit. And if you do mention my name, Kim, you'll get 10% off your first kit and a coupon for 30% off your purchase in the store. And we've also got 3-month subscriptions, which make a great gift for that scrapper in your life. So again, this has been Kim for Swirlydoos Kit Club. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.